Hey, sister, soul sister, gotta get that soul sister. Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of Soulful Sounds podcast. We are so excited for the conversation we are about to have today.
And I'm excited to continue this conversation by telling you guys about our platform, making sure that you know that this is for women-owned businesses, women entrepreneurs, women in families, and just open conversation. Don't forget to follow us on all our platforms, from our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Instagram, and any other platform that you think that we're on or we're about to get on.
We're there. Today we are welcomed by Kristy. She is the owner of Kaiira, Femme, and she also has her own podcast called Ay Dios Mío Podcast. Welcome, Kristy.
Hello, Kristy.
How are you feeling today?
I am good, thank you.
Good.
I feel very honored.
Oh, we're honored to have you. We're so excited for the conversation we're about to have because I know you personally, aside from professionally, and your story is going to reach millions. Really, true.
Thank you. That's the intention.
Mhm. Well, we wanted to start off with a game. We usually start off with a game with our guests. I'm excited for this one because I know that English is actually your second language, correct?
Yes.
So do you want to talk about a little bit where you're from and where you were born, how you got here?
Sure. I was born in Puerto Rico. I am from Bayamón. Basically born and raised over there. I finished my college studies over there. I currently have a master's degree. Mother of 2, one of my kids with autism. I feel super special too with that. I moved to Florida in 2011. So I've been here quite some time. When I would say Claremont was camp. Now it's
Farmland.
and the land was, away from the world, but that's where I'm coming from. So Florida has been good to me, so I cannot complain.
That's good. I know, Jasenia, you've moved to Florida from New York. How many years ago?
It's 8 years now, actually. I've been here since 2017, and best decision I made also. So yeah, I love it.
It is the closest thing than being in the island, honestly, because of the weather. So I don't regret making the decision.
Summer's coming.
Yes.
So our game is called Como dice el dicho, right?
Yep, como dice el dicho.
Como dice el dicho. So we all come from Hispanic households, and we know that there are certain phrases that are engraved in our head from our mom and our grandmas and our parents and family. So we wanted to start off with, I'm gonna say the first part, and then we see if you could finish it.
Okay.
To see if we all had the same childhood experience,
Yes.
which I think we did. So I'm excited for this one. So let's start with a few that aren't so common, but says, al mal tiempo.
Buena cara.
Check.
1 point. Ojos que no ven.
Corazón que no siente.
Yes, girl.
Más vale tarde.
Que temprano.
Okay, this one says que nunca, but yeah. Dime con quién
My
andas.
mom's favorite.
Y te diré quién eres. And that is super true.
It is.
El que mucho abarca.
Poco alcanza, poco aprieta.
Very
Yes.
good.
Calladita te ves más.
Bonita.
Yes. And
That doesn't apply to me.
Not none of us,
actually, that phrase, my mom used to say it to me a lot. And I think because like her mom engraved it to her, and it always stuck with me, like, taking a break from the game, that phrase always made me feel like I had to dim my lights. And so now as an adult, I recognize that I'm never going to say that to my daughter, because I always felt like I had to be smaller and duller and more quiet and not talk back and not have opinions and not do everything. So that saying for me really like hits home. I think, did we do en esta casa?
Ay, esa sí que no me lo sé.
En
Esta casa
esta
mando yo porque
yeah,
yo se la llevo a
obviously,
No, but I wasn't sure. Is that it?
Yep.
That is it. Okay.
And this one's real, the mean one. ¿Te callas?
¿Te callas la boca?
¿Te callas o?
O te callo.
Sí.
Yes.
Callado te callo.
Yeah.
Te callo con la mano.
We all live the same childhood.
Yes, ma'am.
The same childhood. Well, I wanted to kind of tune into, the details of everything. So let's talk about Kaiira Femme and everything that you're doing, because I know that you wear multiple hats, different businesses, different ventures, and everything. Do you want to talk about a little bit what you're doing?
Yeah, with Kaiira from the brand.
Mhm.
In
Yeah,
specific,
everything.
well, I'm all over. I am independent contractor currently for business development for real estate and mortgage. But besides that, I launched Kaiira Femme in April 2025. Kaiira Femme was born in a very dark moment of my life where I was basically lost with my identity because I was imposed to live in a very shaped square on the things that I needed to do in my life to be able to fit in, right? When it comes to professional style, the way I should behave, the way I should see, the way I should talk, the way I should raise my kids, what things I should do and the things that I shouldn't. In addition to that, being a wife, that is extremely challenging. The things that you should accept, the things that you shouldn't. There are some things that we actually accept as women that are not right. Is because, but has been imposed by our culture that we should accept this because of this, right? But basically, Kaiira Femme was born through that. A moment where I felt lost on what I wanted to do with my life, right? After all those like diplomas that I had and my professional successes, I was empty. And the gym saved me, right? In those moments where I went to the gym and I was like in the treadmill and I was asking God, I want to finish with my life. I cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't have the strength to continue. And the only thing that I had was pictures of myself in the mirror, like going through the depression and anxiety. And those pictures had gym attire that representing a big millionaire brand. And I was like, what if I create, this was like a big thought in my head one day, looking at myself in the treadmill in the gym. What if I just create a gym attire, like a gym line or something that I can just speak about my journey with women that can identify with what I'm going through, because I am not the only one going through this, right? And technically, when we go to the gym, people think that we are just looking for the perfect body, but we are healing. The gym is like a hospital, right? So everybody that goes to the gym is going through something that we don't even know, right? In those moments that I went to the gym, it was very hard for me to connect with people because of the same situations, right? People have their journeys and stuff like that, and it's very hard for them to express what they are going through. And we tend to hide stuff with either material stuff or how hard we push at the gym or how we are actually looking, right? So that's the story behind Kaiira Femme.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Powerful story and impactful for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. Do you want to start with one of your questions?
Sure. You talk about creating spaces where women feel seen and empowered. Was there a season in your life where you didn't feel seen, and how did you shape and the way you now show up for others and women?
My rediscovery was at 41, right? So I
Wait,
have
41?
at 41 years old.
Ma'am, where?
Well, I'm gonna be 43, so I am working on becoming myself, right? And it has been a huge adjustment, right? Because I'm ending cycles, and mentally you are stuck on what you learned from since you was born until you turn 40. So it's a huge, you know, um, like on click and clicking again, right? But on seeing,
reshaping
reshaping
your
my
mindset.
mindset, yes. On seeing, 40 years old, 41 years old, yes. Because as I mentioned, my identity was because I wanted to please other people. And I wanted for people to talk about my accomplishments and know who I was as a person and as a woman. So it has been very hard. And yes, my intention behind Kaiira Femme is not selling, but the gym attire, which you are wearing perfectly, and I love it, this is basically a tool to get to women, to inspire them and to let them know that there's hope, that you can transform yourself, and that there's more than being behind the shadow of your diploma, your career, your kids, and your husband.
I would say that's definitely really relatable. For example, this past year was my healing year, and the gym is all I went. And it's funny, I always used to make jokes. I always tell Judith, you know, this is like the best boyfriend I've ever had. Shows up for me, is always there for me, and
Feeling good.
you walk out feeling good. It's just that empowerment, right? Just, especially you think about gym clothes, right? It's just gym clothes. But when I put the gym clothes on, I'm like, damn, I lost 5 pounds. I look good. So it does.
And you get
make-
excited to shop for more gym clothes once you
Yes.
start losing weight and you start feeling kind of like discovering, you know, what your style is, what fits you, what best sports bra to wear and stuff like that.
Gives you confidence.
Yeah, the confidence. And I really want to touch on that because your gym wear is not your typical kind of black and white design. So I know that you talk about the confidence and wanting women to feel empowered and feel good in what they're wearing, the material, and so do you want to talk about the like kind of the not sensuality but the confidence that it brings with the designs that you choose, which by the way are amazing. I just found out how to wear an appropriate sports bra that I got. I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know if this fits me correct, and she's like, no, you gotta cross it in the front, and it's a whole style. So where did you kind of gain that inspiration on creating?
So inspiration per se, no, there's a mission behind it, right? There's a big connection between faith, fashion, and fitness, right? And is what I'm bringing to the table is nothing that you see. Like, I don't want to speak about big brands, but you already know them, right? It's for Latina bodies, for them to feel confident, confident. That's the word that I love using, right? You don't need to show if you don't want to. However, I don't know what is going on with the movement that is getting built, that once people starts wearing the clothing, there's something that clicks on them that makes them feel empowered and more open into their bodies and accepting and enjoying their journey and feeling happy with what they're seeing in the mirror, right? This is not about showing too much, but being confident on what you are wearing, on what you are seeing in the mirror, right? Because confidence is in your head. Once you start building that in your head and you know what entails to be confident, then the rest is gonna flow.
It's a mindset
It is,
perspective.
yes.
Where it starts on the inside and it starts to shine outwardly.
Exactly. And not to mention that my niche starts at 24, but it's ending at 75. I have customers that are 75 years old that
Oh my gosh,
are
that's
wearing the
amazing.
same clothing that you are wearing, and they are
Feeling
All
great.
power to them.
Yes,
All power
yes,
to them.
yes. And that says a lot about your brand, that it's not just tailored to one specific group of people,
Yes.
but you've made it so broad that anyone can feel comfortable, confident, and then empowered to want to do more with their lives. So that's awesome.
And I'll also add, and I think you said it, Latino bodies. Okay?
Yeah.
We have curves.
Yeah.
We got hips.
Yeah.
Okay, rice, beans, and chicken hits
Yeah.
different when you have it all the time.
Yeah.
But when you go to, like, for example, an actual name brand, and I had this experience happen to me where they only had up to like a size 6.
Yeah.
I'm a size 10. Like, it doesn't even go up my hips, right? So knowing that your brand fits a lot of different women, not just the size 1 to size 6 women, because when you look at even videos and advertisements, they only advertise the very skinny
This
little
is true.
person. I'm like,
A prototype of what
exactly.
that
And-
doesn't exist.
Exactly. And then,
There are only few.
and then women, they have it, and we talk about that mindset of, I have to look like her.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't look like her, I'm not gonna look good in that, the outfit or the gym wear. And it messes up our psyche. And I think
It's
it starts,
discouraging.
it is discouraging.
Mhm.
So that makes me really happy to hear that your brand reaches so many different women with all different body types, because we're not toothpicks, okay?
And we
It's
still
okay.
look- and we
It's
still look
okay.
good.
I was gonna say, people that's listening, it is okay to have hips. It is okay to have thighs. It's okay to have some extra little, I call them chichos.
Yes,
little,
we do.
little love handles, and it's okay.
The
And
chichos.
the chichos. It's okay to have chichos.
Yeah, and that's part of your story. That's
Yeah.
what I basically tell all my customers, that little stretch mark or that little dark spot, you have a story behind everything, you know, and you decide how to embrace that, right? If you say to yourself in the mirror that I don't like my body, your mindset is gonna,
You feel it,
it's not gonna be happy
Mhm.
with neither with yourself
Yeah.
and what you were seeing in the mirror. So everything has to click on you. You gotta give yourself a chance to feel, right? And that's where we get lost, that we tend to be in automatic all the time. And we don't get to sit down and do some kind of introspection of ourselves, of the things that we like, the things that we want to do, and how we feel, and how we look, and the things that we want to accomplish, etc. So it's a huge learning process, and it could take you a whole lifetime.
But it's the baby steps that matter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once you acknowledge that there's something wrong with yourself, right? Because we all go through a lot of traumas and stuff like that, and the traumas that we carry, they're not even ours.
Yeah, this is
You
true.
know, it's like, why do we need to carry, and why do we have to like put that, for us to carry that when
It was meant
we
for us.
we should release all of that, you know? It's very deep conversation.
An actual light conversation, the light question to ask, if you don't mind. Are you a planner girl with color-coded calendars, or more of a we'll figure it out as we go type energy?
Because now I'm building this business, I have learned how to let go control. Because in the Bible, basically God is very specific when it comes to this topic, right? That you can spend all your time making decisions and planning for your life. But at the end of the day, he's the one that is gonna guide you through where you have to go. So the planning sometimes is not gonna take you where you have to go.
Because then you're not trusting.
Exactly. So you gotta trust, you gotta let go. Of course, I do have a planner.
Yeah.
I have my Google Calendar and I have my paper planner that I'm seeing what is happening every single day, but I'm learning how to let go results. Because you have to work intentional, right? Of course, but like forcing results, I'm not doing that.
We need order, not chaos.
Yes.
But the letting go of control
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
main part.
And it's a very difficult stage in my life, obviously, because I have had everything figured out. I'm the problem solver kind of
Yeah.
woman,
You
right?
carry all
And
the
I-
weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, so,
Organizing, executing, planning, reviewing, signing.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
of
and
it.
the economy, when it comes to like, and I will say that is sometimes my fault when things, happens, because there was a moment in my life that I was even refusing to get help, right? Because I got it under control. You don't need to help me. You don't need to be involved in this, right? But coming to find out that there's no reason for us to hold that control in our shoulders for everything that happens. Everybody should be responsible for their own actions and their own portion of life, their own finances as well. This is like salvation. If you don't, not because I go to church, my husband is gonna be saved.
Yeah.
You know,
You have to
so
put the work in
you
yourself.
gotta put the work on. So
I have a question that I wasn't planning on asking, but it's actually, since you've said it, it's been kind of like repeating in my head. You talk about the launch of Kaiira Femme came from trying to find your identity. And you mentioned something, I think it stuck to me because in all the podcasts that we do and all the women that we've talked to, we always talk about when is enough enough? Like, how many degrees do I have to have? How many businesses do I have to launch? How much more can I do? And then the women around us are like, how is she doing it all? Or how can I be better? How can I do more? How could I add more into my plate? You mentioned all the, certificates and education that you had, and that still wasn't fulfilling enough. And I feel that same way because I'm always like, when I cross off one thing off my list, I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, what more can I gain? What more can I do? How much more can I study? How much more can I work? How much more can I get paid? But at the end of the day, it's like, what even is all of that to me? What does it provide for my soul, or does it even bring me peace? Does it bring me clarity? Do I know that it's representing who I am or what I stand for? So I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit more about that and how you were able to find your identity despite kind of balancing it all.
I am still working on my identity. This is not a secret, right? I cry every day because, once again, this is not about results. This is about like obedience, like being obedient on God. The only thing that is required for us is to follow God's purpose. Once you are aligned with the things that God wants you to do, everything is gonna fall into place, right? But the thing is that if you are starting a project, let's say, for example, me and the business, I want sales, right? You build a business to have income coming in, but there's a stage that you're gonna have to go through that is basically nothing related to sales. Is being you as an authentic person, showing yourself as who you are, and then God like building you and like molding you, and comes with a lot of tears, right? When it comes to your question, who you are trying to prove your results? What are you trying to do with your results, right? This morning, it was a very hectic morning because there was something inside of me stating, you gotta print that certificate, that Pilates certificate that, because I got certified as a Pilates instructor recently. Thank you so much. But then God reminded me, what are you trying to prove? Like, why is that certificate so important to you? Like, for me to see it printed in front of me.
Yeah. Well, I think like for me, it kind of goes like, it does represent the hard work that you've put in, like the dedication, like you say, the tears and the stress and all the time you've invested into it.
But I think for her, what she's saying is he was asking her to check the condition of her heart.
Yes, but on the other side was him like,
You don't need the
once again, what are you trying to validate? That doesn't mean that because you are going through all of these big struggles,
Then it doesn't mean you didn't do anything.
exactly,
You're
that
not
doesn't
worthy.
mean that you are not you are not building something, right? And the building something comes with a certificate, and the certificate is nothing, right? So it's relative. For some women, like for me, it's like, yes, I'm going to still print that certificate. However, that should be like the link of a new path that I'm developing, not because I'm proving you that I'm a Pilates instructor.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Not the end all.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
What
There's a
you-
whole bunch of women that are out there, which is not bad. Um, each we all have to put the work on, right? But we tend to go to college. Like I don't know how many times I was told like you gotta be an attorney, and coming to find out that I attempted to go to law school 3 times and it didn't work out for me. It wasn't my path,
Mhm.
and I'm like, you know what? I don't think that law is even part of me, you know, because many reasons, right? And and the way that I was building my career basically was to prove my parents that yes, I'm making you proud because I'm getting very close to what you wanted for me to become.
What they expect of you.
Exactly,
But-
the expectations.
That goes back to what we just talked about, is the validation. Like, we have to do it for somebody else. Like, if we don't do it for them, then we're not validated. Or we have
Right.
to prove to somebody else, like you were talking about the certificate, your poly certificate. If I don't do this, am I gonna get that validation?
Mhm.
We don't need that validation.
Right.
You know, so following, like you said, following your heart. Law school wasn't for you.
Right.
It wasn't your passion. It's not your journey.
Right.
So finding out what is your actual journey and what you want to move forward for speaks volumes. That speaks to your heart.
Yep.
And we always talk about mind over heart or heart over mind. This is that heart. We got to follow our heart, not just that mind piece.
Mhm.
And you'll
And
feel-
listen, look at this.
Wow.
And I did it in a very dark moment of my life because I'm going through anxiety and depression for the longest period of my time, right? At 40,
So if you
When I
guys can't
started-
see, it's
no.
the scales of
That's
justice
me.
with heart and brain with her in the middle.
yes, it has been tough, you know, making decisions. And now that I'm on this journey that I decided to leave my job that I did for almost 23 years in the real estate mortgage industry, I get to speak to my parents. They say, and this is not a secret, you know, I'm very open with everything that happens in my life. You gotta find a job. You cannot be doing the entrepreneurship kind of thing because you need income.
Yeah.
And what do you mean? You know, this entrepreneurship is something that I'm building and with the expectation to build a legacy that maybe the results I'm not gonna be able to see because probably I would not be alive. Does that make sense? So I'm just breaking a pattern.
I love
That's how I see it.
Mhm.
It is like a generational
Yeah.
cycle, a different mindset of me, of Kristy Conde behind Kaiira Femme, living freely, living in full authenticity. And if I have to cry in front of you, I will cry. If I have to laugh, I will laugh. And I will not, I will not hide the journey and the process just to please a specific group. What makes me different is because
Your
because
authenticity.
exactly my vulnerability that I need to show. Vulnerability is good,
And
right?
living to be who you were created to be.
Exactly.
Not who people put the expectation on who you should be, but who God created you to be. And that's why you're feeling a sense of calm in your spirit because now you're walking in the path that He set before you, not the one that other people set before you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I was telling you earlier before when we met up, like your journey
that
right
that was in my
now
head too.
is literally smooth, and it's because you're following what God has placed before
Yes.
you, and so He's ordered those steps.
Yes.
And now, when you're walking in the on the stones that He set before you, it's gonna go smooth. Maybe not always, right? Because you've always got these elements that are be like, no, I don't want her going that way, and so, but when it goes fluid that way, you know that it's something that your spirit is aligned with it, and therefore it's gonna go smoothly. When things are chaotic, God is not a God of chaos. You know? So that's awesome that you came to the realization and you chose to be obedient to walk in the path set before you and not continue to follow what other people have had for you.
Yeah, and it has been a very big challenging process because I have basically I needed to express to people sometimes, like, hey, I am working on this. Like, and then in silent with myself, and I'm like, why I'm doing this? Why am I need to explain myself, or I have to explain to others what I'm doing when I'm just being obedient and I'm just following what I'm supposed to do. Because opportunities sometimes they come and you are not expecting them, and I'm like, God, is this you? I'm asking for provision and I'm asking you to do all of this stuff for me, but they are coming with a lot of trials and issues. But on the other side, you still at peace.
Exactly.
Like, how
That's the
come?
difference.
Why is all of these connected? But God is like helping you build endurance in the process, right?
Yeah.
And how do you go through all of these challenges? If I don't go through all of these, there's no way that I can just scale into something bigger, right? Because my intention is to build Kaiira into something big and go global at some point, right? So, but if I cannot handle not even
The small challenges.
the small challenges that I have in my heart, there's no way that God will give me $1 million business or a $200 million business when I cannot control 200,000. And
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, walking by faith is a difficult journey
Oh, yeah.
because you have to be intentional about, you know, although the path is difficult and it feels like, you have to trust in God and know that He's going to do these things for your benefit.
He's the way. There's no other way. I'm telling you. You can cry, you can just work like shortcuts, but at the end of the day, if it's not meant to you, it's not. I'm telling you that it's not gonna work out.
And you'll
So,
never feel fulfilled.
no, because there's no reason, there's no alignment. So at the end of the day, you are working for nothing. So
Kind of like Drew just said, by faith, not by sight, and not by your might, but by your spirit. It's like we can't do things of our own might, and we try so much. And oftentimes we're like, okay, I'm gonna not do that anymore. I give it to you, God. And then like 10 minutes later, we're like, wait, but, and we go and we grab it again. It's like, okay, pause. Because if we truly do trust, and I say this because I am the biggest falter at this, I constantly take it back, thinking that that not that I know better, but that, okay, I figured it out. And it's like, but did I tell you that you figured it out? No, I figure it out. You just obedience. You just follow the path. And we cause our own like little strifes in life because we want to take control.
Yeah.
But He knows that. So He's probably like,
yeah.
she's okay. She's just being just young. And it's like, but we are the ones that overcomplicate things.
Yeah, but it's crazy that when you are like praying in those prayers, you are just telling God what to do, and that is not how it works, right? There are some times that you gotta say like, God, please take control of everything. You know what I'm planning, you know what I want in my heart, but at the end of the day, if that is not what is meant for me,
It's not for me.
just give me the signs, just open those doors and block the ones that are not for me, like instantly. And that is what have happened with opportunities, with people, with friendships, which is another huge topic for another podcast. But things will get aligned.
Oh, girl, I feel like I could talk to you all day. I'm like, we're taking it to church. We're taking it back to our parents. Like, you're just so relatable. And that's why I feel so proud to have you on the podcast, because you really do speak to just so many of us. And when we started Soul Sisters, we were both going through our mental health journeys and trying to start over and turn the page. And the more we got out there, we realized that a lot of us shared a similar story. It may not be the exact details, but a lot of us, everyone is going through something, and the people that make it seem like life is so perfect, we know that that's not true.
Right.
I mean, we know that life is never like that. And I think that we just try to make it, and use our platform to show the vulnerability and to show, the real side of things. And so I appreciate you so much for being honest with everything. And I just want to say, like when we were creating this and I spoke to Jasenia and Ashley about it, I'm like, for so long, my identity was I was divorced, I was a single mom going through mental health, and I started Soul Sisters. And I'm like, now I have this redirection of, I got married again, I had a baby, I'm starting my own new thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about mental health no more. Like, I'm not talking about what I go through, or I'm not, telling the world that I'm anxious or depressed. And so I just like have the opportunity to just see someone else, be so transparent. And so it just inspires me to kind of like not put on a facade, trying to be perfect for everyone, because I think that that's what the expectation is. So I really just do admire you, and I feel like I can talk to you all day, girl.
Thank you.
So
So-
try not to get emotional.
There's something that I want to share with you because it's gonna make a huge difference for you. And I think that you just got it, and I think that you both. I think that you're a little older than them, right?
I'm 48, yeah.
Yeah. So community is very important, right?
Yeah.
But not community with everybody. Community with intentional people. Community with people that align to your values, to your mission, to your vision. As a person, you need to have that established. This is not about having the mission and vision and having a business plan. You need to have your own business plan for your life, right? And sometimes we get sidetracked. It is perfectly fine, but just a huge experience, personal experience. God made us move from Orlando to DeLand in a very dark moment where my husband and I, we were trying to get divorced, and he moved us to another area, right? Because that area wasn't serving us. We were not growing there. Coming to find out that I realized that I didn't have friends where I was, right? And he brought me to DeLand, to this great community that I have now, right? To being close to women that are like so powerful, just being themselves, not because of what they are building, but because of who they are as people and how they get to impact the community, how they get to work, how they get to show themselves anywhere they go, right? So community is very important. You cannot do it by yourself. If you have an idea, you need to, and you don't know, probably for you, it gets very, very hard. There are some times that I don't know where to go or what to do, and maybe you have that person that is a little over that scale that you are like looking forward to have, that with a little tweak, you are like, oh wow, was that the only thing that I needed to do, like to scale to that, right? So thank you. You guys know who they are. So I am very happy and I feel very blessed with the community that I'm building, of friends that have been there for me. That sometimes I'm super happy and super like, I have it all together, and they are like, what happened, mamita? Explode chisme because there's something coming. There's something happening. What did you do, right?
Yeah.
And coming to find out that it was that lip gloss that I know.
I was gonna ask you, is that what you're wearing now? Because when you talk, I'm looking at it.
Me too. I'm actually looking at her lips.
Please do tell her
No, it is not mine. This is pharmacy. Yvette Pujol's Vision and
Shout
Healing
out to
people.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the lip oil?
Yes, the lip
So
oil.
my daughter, she just got the lip oil from Yvette.
Yes,
Just a few
it
days
is
ago.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's something very similar. And the product got created for the reason that they are still women that don't think that they should be wearing the clothing. So it will be another avenue to get to the woman that for X or Y reason they are not feeling comfortable wearing a red, or feeling comfortable like wearing a sport bra that will show their belly a little bit. But for fact, they will use a lip gloss, right? So
Maybe it's a starting point.
exactly,
Start at the top and keep working down.
exactly.
And I'll jump in on that. So Judith knows I don't go anywhere without a faja.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not, and I'm repeating this to everybody, and this is probably being vulnerable. I do not go anywhere without a faja. And I was telling her the last day we saw each other,
Yeah.
and I would say about almost a month I have not worn a faja out because I'm enjoying my skin.
And you're looking amazing, by the way.
You're trying. And
Yeah, I
then
remember that was the last time that we saw. I was like, what? Something's different about you.
why are you laughing? Where's the
I mean, we've known each other since we were 12 years old.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So,
And yeah, we just
so the reason why I bring this up is because we're talking about body positivity and everything. And you guys know with the previous podcast, I'm going through PCOS. So my wave's like this, up and down, up and down. My insulin levels is here one day. Some other days I'm super, super low. And it's just because my body naturally is producing that. I can't control it, right? So I bring this up because you talk about community. You talk about women making you feel happy, and especially when you need to vent, or, you know, you're going through that, the low of the lows, right? So I definitely want to say that I appreciate this little community here, and not only that, you guys listening in is that community, because I think we get to a point as women that we don't want to speak up, and it's that embarrassment of, you know, like, I'll just use the faja, like, oh my God, if I show just a little chicho, and I gotta have my chichos out, it's okay, a little chicho, that people are looking at us, that they're hyper-focused on that little piece, and that's not the case, right? So with community, it's okay.
some people don't even notice.
Yeah.
I don't notice.
At all.
And you think everyone's staring at that one little
piece,
piece.
and they're not. So I bring this up on the podcast to know, find your community. And if you don't have a community, look at different podcasts, talk to different people, put yourself out there, because you'll find somebody that you would connect with. And again, me and Drew have known each other for 12 years. I mean, 12 years, oh my God, it's like 20
No, yeah,
something.
we're-
Since you were 12
Years times 2.
Oh, yeah. Time's a very long time, where there's no judgment. You gotta find a community where there is no judgment at all. I could call even Yesenia. I'm having a mental breakdown right now. I need some prayers. I need something, right?
Oh my gosh, I don't mean to cut you off, but it reminds, this is the type of friend that Ashley is. I called her the other day, and I was having, you know, really, I felt like I was having really bad anxiety. And so I call her, and I'm like, she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I just feel like I'm gonna rip my hair out. And she's like, well, you have beautiful hair. Don't touch your hair. And I just start laughing. I'm like, Ashley, I love you.
She snapped you right out of it.
Oh my God. I just started instantly laughing.
And it's that community, right? Where you could laugh, you could be vulnerable, you could be, you cry together, right?
You can depend on
You
each
could
other.
depend on each other, right?
Reliability, that says
Yes.
a lot about you.
Mhm.
Having a friend, I have my friends that have been with me like since kindergarten, you know, and I can reach out to them and they will be there, right? But that speaks a lot about us being reliable, and that's the people that are meant to be here, like.
Yeah. But then we think about the women that, and I don't want to bring up suicide, I don't want to bring up that mental health piece, but I want to bring up, you have women where they don't think there's somebody out there for them, where they're in that dark hole by themselves, and they don't want to reach out to somebody. But I can tell you, there's probably billions of people on this earth. Talk to somebody. Put yourself out there. And I would tell you, especially on this journey with Soul Sisters, the last 5 years with Soul Sisters, we're now doing the podcast. I've met so many women, and the first thing I hear is, I didn't know that there was somebody like me. I was just a single mom. I'm going through cancer, that one woman we met. I'm just that element, right? I'm just, I'm just that worker. I'm just that whatever, right? And believe it or not, you're not just your situation, you're more.
You're so much more.
You're so much more, and I want to make sure that we bring this up on this podcast, because we're talking about community and women, that there's somebody out there that's probably your soulmate, okay? Soulmate, your soulmate here. That if you don't talk to somebody and you get to that point of that depression, because again, I've been, and these ladies would know that I've been my lowest of my lows, especially, like I said, I got diagnosed with PCOS the Friday right before Christmas. And on Christmas Eve, and I bring this up on this podcast, and on Christmas Eve, I was so exhausted to the point where I was basically sleeping all day on my son's Christmas. Think about that, because my body was and I was just taking medication, everything, and my body was just so low. And then I questioned myself, and I go, I'm mourning my son's Christmas. And I'm like, I can't handle it, right? So talking to somebody, and I be vulnerable on these podcasts too, so you guys can hear my whole story. But calling Yesenia and saying, I need help. And especially, I just bring that up because I know there's a lot of women that don't have community, that don't know where to start with community. So I want to bring up on the podcast, if you have somebody out there and you're listening in and you need to talk to somebody, ping us.
Right.
Let us know. We'll be your community here.
Right.
Okay, we have so many different, I call them branches. One person branches this way. We know somebody this way. Everybody's connected in some web, and it's funny. We remember we saw one of our acquaintances and a friend, you could say, and we saw her book. I can't think who it was. And some,
Oh, Tattoo Barbie?
yes, not tattoo. When we found her book, you were somewhere.
Oh, Jessica.
Jessica.
I was thinking I'm thinking they're talking about Jessica.
We were looking at a venue.
Yes, that's what
Looking at a venue, I think for the gala.
Yeah.
And then we saw one of the Soul Sisters book, and we were out in
like
Orlando.
deep
like,
in Orlando, like you.
And we saw her book.
That's awesome, girl.
Mhm.
Look us out
But
there,
that's
just
just like you're putting yourself out there, and you don't know. Like even though this word is big, it's very small.
Yes.
Everybody's connected in some kind of way, in some kind of element, in some kind of motion, something, right? Put yourself out there. And like I said, once you post this and you see our platform, reach out. Obviously, we're going to tag everybody that's on the podcast. We're going to make sure that you get the resources. If you want to feel sexy and beautiful, hello, we have a connection right here.
Yes.
So that's what I want to bring up, just because we're talking about community, and it's really deep on so many levels.
No, and the worst thing that you can do, something that I have learned, is like sometimes when you go through your biggest struggles, you tend to isolate, right?
Yep.
That's the instant mechanism that you
spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the isolation is the least of the things that you should do. You should be speaking to people,
Yeah.
to somebody that you trust, that without judgment.
Correct.
That's one of the biggest things, because you don't want friends that are like, well, because
No.
she's like bad mentally,
Yeah.
you know, and she needs help, and she cuckoo in the head.
Yeah.
You know,
Those are not
because-
friends.
Yeah.
Those are people that are, impostering as friends, but they
Yes.
have their own issues that they're going with. Because nobody with a heart of love, nobody with a heart of peace and of joy is going to be speaking upon others, especially people who are being vulnerable and trying to become friends with somebody that way. Because when you operate from a standpoint of your heart, you're gonna operate with love. You're gonna operate with compassion. You're gonna operate with the want to genuinely help or be there. Like one of my favorite phrases is, "We rise by lifting others." Like we don't get anywhere on our own. You're spinning your tires when you're trying to do it by yourself, because we're not meant to do life by ourselves. We're meant to do life, to your point earlier, in community, but you have to choose the right community, because otherwise they can set you back.
Yes.
Rather
They
than
will
pushing
delay
you
your whole
forward.
process.
Yes.
And
So
also,
wrong people will.
and I would say also
Right.
with community too, there shouldn't be competition in your community. Like there's a lot of people that's doing the same similar things, right? Like you open your business that's doing notaries. I know.
That reminds us of our story.
Yep.
How I joined Soul Sisters. Like I had my own nonprofit and I was doing it on my own and I was struggling. And I met these beautiful ladies through Jessica, whom she just mentioned the book about. And they asked me, would you like to join us? And, if I was a competitive person or jealous, I'd be like, no, I've already been doing this for 5-6 years. But I was like, that's a great idea. We're literally doing
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I knew that some of my strengths can help build what they had. And they had strengths that I sure did not have, which is why I was struggling trying to do it on my own. So that's just how God works, though. He puts people in our lives. And again, that's how we know when it is the right path, because it just happens, and you're like, and it feels good. And that peace comes upon you of like, yes, this is a good idea. So.
And also, I would like to add up that just be authentic, do things with a lot of integrity, because maybe the person that is in front of you that you don't want to speak to has the connection that you deserve, or you are looking forward to go to the next level. You don't know who's next to you that will help you get
Open doors.
get there. So I have learned that, there was a season in my life that I was like trying to be selfish with the things that I was doing, because normal human behavior, right? Because you have been like,
Fear.
yeah, and the lack of trust that you develop too with your journeys. You know, it's like, should I trust somebody again? You know, and
Yeah.
that's like rebuilding the trust and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, just walk.
Derechita,
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 because you
derechita.
know, if that person that is next to you, it will cross on your path and have that connection that you was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That has happened to me several times. And another thing is that I don't get to force things. I'm not chasing. My intention is to attract with the mission that I'm doing, and that's why Kaiira Femme season in the markets is gonna end up very soon, right? Because I
Yeah, you were
have
just
felt,
telling me that. So she's been doing pop-up markets,
Pop-up markets.
almost every weekend, right?
yes, which is extremely challenging, exhausting, and I have come into the realization that there's no reason for me to be moving out because God gave me the community already. It is my responsibility to build it, right? So what I'm gonna do, because I'm responsible, I'm gonna continue with my commitments to probably mid of June that I already have booked, and then I'm gonna work on my new journey, which is gonna be a Pilates studio, building up the community in the area, and
Well,
having a
talking
space.
about Pilates, I'm so excited. Let's take a short break because we actually want to see if you could teach us a little something.
Yes.
Are you down for that?
I can.
Okay. Let's try. We'll be back. We stopped the thing and then we wanted to see.
We lost
So
our
we'll
director.
ask. We're actually probably already an hour in. So if we're all okay